780 horsepower, 175 feet long, nearly the length of a Boeing 737. Built for endless highways, kangaroos, and 120-degree heat, this truck was made to survive the Outback. Because only in Australia does the world need a machine like this. A standard American semi-truck pulls one trailer and weighs about 80,000 pounds. The world's longest truck can pull up to 7 trailers and weigh over 4 times as much. But why are they built so long and powerful? In this video, you'll learn how these giants were designed to tackle Australia's vast distances and brutal outback conditions. And by the end, you'll understand why these trucks are the only solution for moving massive loads across one of the most unforgiving landscapes on the planet. In 1975, history was made when Doug Gould piloted the world's longest truck across Australia's unforgiving outback. His mammoth road train stretched an incredible 315 feet, with a single Kenworth prime mover pulling 7 fully loaded trailers weighing nearly 600 tons. This moment cemented Australian road trains as the undisputed titans of global trucking. Kurt Johansson laid the groundwork in 1953 by connecting multiple trailers behind a single truck in the Northern Territory. This innovation arose from necessity, as Australia's vast distances between mining operations and population centers demanded more efficient transportation solutions. While American truckers typically operated with single 40-foot trailers, Australian transport authorities embraced multiple trailer configurations as the only practical solution for crossing thousands of miles of challenging terrain. Early road trains featured modest 2-trailer setups, but expanded to 3 and 4 trailers by the 1970s. American trucks typically operated with 400 horsepower engines, pulling about 80,000 pounds, while Australian road trains required 600-plus horsepower to move triple that weight across punishing conditions. Now fast forward to today, and the modern Australian road train is an engineering masterpiece that makes its international counterparts look like toys by comparison. Now let's break down the numbers. Modern road trains boast Detroit diesel engines producing a staggering 780 horsepower, nearly double the average American long-haul truck's output. Now these powerhouses produce up to 2,800 pound-feet of torque, while typical North American semis operate with around 1,800 pound-feet. While American trucks are limited to approximately 75 feet in most states, Australian Type 2 road trains stretch to an astonishing 175 feet, nearly the length of a Boeing 737 liner from nose to tail. The standard North American setup is limited to 1 trailer, occasionally 2, with special permits. Now in contrast, Australian road trains routinely pull 4 44-foot trailers in what's known as an AB quad configuration, with specialized mining variants capable of hauling up to 7 trailers. A typical American 18-wheeler earned its nickname from its 18 wheels across 5 axles. Australian road trains can feature up to 32 axles supporting 90-plus wheels, a rolling mechanical centipede by comparison. American trucks typically have a gross vehicle weight of 80,000 pounds. Now, Australian road trains can handle up to 340,000 pounds, more than 4 times what North American regulations permit on most highways. Now, the evolution didn't stop with size increases. Engineering innovations specific to Australian conditions emerged as these giants grew. The development of specialized converter dollies, the connecting units between trailers, represented a significant breakthrough. Unlike the simple dollies occasionally used for double trailers in the US and Canada, Australian converter dollies feature sophisticated stabilization systems that prevent trailer sway at high speeds. And transmission systems evolved uniquely as well. While American trucks typically run 10-speed manual or 12-speed automated transmissions, Australian road trains employ 18-speed Road Ranger transmissions with specialized low-range gearing, essential for launching these massive combinations from a standstill in soft desert conditions. Now, perhaps the most visible distinction in this evolution is the adoption of the bull bar. While these protective front bumpers are optional accessories in North America, they became mandatory equipment on Australian road trains. They evolved from simple push bars to massive 400-pound engineering structures designed to protect not just against kangaroos, but to preserve the entire front end during wildlife collisions at highway speeds. Now, this evolutionary path forced engine manufacturers to develop Australia-specific variants of their global engines. A Cummins X15 engine in an American Peterbilt might be tuned for 565 horsepower. In comparison, the same engine block in an Australian Kenworth is pushed to deliver 780 horsepower with reinforced cooling systems designed specifically for outback conditions, where temperatures regularly exceed 120 degrees Fahrenheit. The fuel systems tell their evolutionary tale. American trucks typically carry 300 gallons of diesel, enough for about 2,000 miles. Australian road trains feature integrated fuel systems holding up to 1,000 gallons, allowing for 3,000-plus mile ranges between fills. Essential when the next fuel stop might be hundreds of miles away across the unforgiving Outback. Now, this evolutionary journey continues today. While North American trucking innovates primarily around aerodynamics and fuel efficiency, Australian road train development pushes mechanical boundaries further with each generation. The latest frontier? Specialized multi-articulation systems allow 7 trailer combinations to navigate turns that would be impossible with conventional coupling technology. The evolution of these mechanical titans stands as a testament to Australian engineering ingenuity, proof that when conventional solutions fail, thinking bigger can sometimes be the perfect answer. Now that's how road trains became the titans of the Outback. But wait until you see what's under the hood. Now before we move on, take a moment to hit that like button so more people can watch this video. If you've ever watched a massive road train thunder past, what you're witnessing isn't just a truck. It's a rolling masterclass in extreme engineering. While American and Canadian trucks are built for highways and comfort, Australian road trains are designed for survival in some of the most punishing conditions on Earth. Let's pop the hood and examine what makes these mechanical beasts truly special. Now, at the heart of every modern Australian road train sits an engine that would make most North American truck drivers green with envy. The latest Kenworth K200 road trains come equipped with Cummins X15 engines that have been specially modified for Australian conditions. Now, these magnificent power plants produce a jaw-dropping 780 horsepower and an astonishing 2,800 pound-feet of torque. For perspective, that's enough power to launch a small rocket and nearly twice what you'd find in a typical American Peterbilt running the highways between Chicago and Los Angeles. The transmission systems tell an equally impressive story. While North American trucks typically employ 10 or 12-speed transmissions, Australian road trains require the full 18-speed Road Ranger setups with specialized crawler gears. Why? Because when you're trying to get 155 tons of truck and cargo moving from a dead stop in soft desert sand, you need multiplication factors that would be completely unnecessary on American interstates. Cooling systems receive special attention in these mechanical giants. American trucks running through Nevada might think that they know the heat, but they're merely playing in the minor leagues compared to what Australian road trains endure. The radiator systems in these behemoths can move over 15 gallons of coolant per minute through specialized high-efficiency cores that would look completely out of place in their North American cousins. These cooling packages often weigh over 400 pounds by themselves, about twice what you'd find in a standard American Kenworth T680. Now, the fuel systems are equally impressive feats of engineering. Australian road trains don't just have bigger tanks, they have complete fuel networks. Many feature primary tanks holding 600 gallons plus auxiliary systems, adding another 400 gallons of capacity. Compare that to a standard 300-gallon capacity in American long-haul trucks. Now, this massive fuel reserve isn't luxury, but survival equipment when your route takes you across stretches of the Outback where fuel stops might be separated by over 1,000 kilometers. Braking systems showcase innovation born out of necessity. While American trucks rely primarily on standard air brakes, Australian road trains employ sophisticated electronic braking systems that independently manage each trailer's braking force. Now, this prevents that terrifying accordion effect that would occur if all 90-plus wheels tried to brake simultaneously with the same pressure. The latest systems can even detect when a trailer begins to sway or apply corrective braking to specific wheels. This technology would be completely unnecessary for the shorter combinations permitted on North American roads. The chassis design alone speaks volumes about the engineering differences. American frames typically use C-channel rails with a PSI rating of about 120,000. Australian road trains, on the other hand, demand significantly reinforced frames, often utilizing double-wall designs with PSI ratings exceeding 165,000. Every crossmember, every mounting bracket, and every suspension component must be built to withstand stresses that North American trucks would never encounter. Now, perhaps the most fascinating is the specialized coupling technology that makes these massive combinations possible. The converter dollies connecting the trailers aren't simple pivot points like you might find on American doubles. Australian dollies feature sophisticated stabilization systems, using hydraulic dampers and specialized geometry to prevent the deadly phenomenon of trailer sway. Each dolly can handle tow bar pull forces exceeding 30 tons, stresses that would literally tear apart the coupling systems used in North American trucking. The electrical systems are equally impressive, featuring redundant 24-volt networks that run the length of the entire combination. While American trucks typically run 12-volt systems with a single alternator, Australian road trains often employ dual high-output alternators producing up to 185 amps each. This is necessary to power not just the truck systems, but also the network of lights, sensors, and control modules distributed throughout all trailers. Suspension systems tell another story of specialized engineering. While American trucks typically use standard leaf springs or air-ride suspensions designed for smooth interstates, Australian road trains employ heavy-duty suspension systems with massive stabilizer bars and specialized dampening valves. Many feature automatic load sensing technology that adjusts dampening characteristics based on cargo weight and road conditions. That technology would be complete overkill for the comparatively gentle roads of North America. Even the tires showcase specialized engineering. American trucks typically run standard highway tires designed primarily for wear characteristics and fuel economy. Australian road trains demand specialized rubber compounds with significantly reinforced sidewalls and heat dissipation characteristics. A single tire for these beasts costs nearly twice what an American trucker would pay, but delivers the durability necessary when the nearest tire shop might be hundreds of kilometers away. The steering systems are engineering marvels in themselves. American trucks typically employ standard hydraulic assist systems. Australian road trains feature specialized high-pressure hydraulic systems with multiple redundancies and cooling systems for the hydraulic fluid itself, which is necessary when you're trying to control a mechanical beast that stretches longer than half a football field. When you combine all these specialized systems, what emerges isn't just a bigger truck. It's a completely different species of machine, purpose-built for conditions that would leave conventional trucks stranded in the middle of nowhere. These rolling engineering marvels represent the pinnacle of what's possible when conventional solutions simply aren't enough for the task at hand. And now that you know what makes these trucks tick, let's talk about the people who drive them. But first, have you ever seen a road train in action? Let us know in the comments below. If piloting a standard American or European truck resembles sailing a boat, commanding an Australian road train feels like captaining an entire fleet. The experience transcends merely operating a vehicle. It embodies a lifestyle without parallel in global trucking. Inside the cab of these mechanical leviathans, priorities become immediately apparent. While American trucks emphasize luxury with plush sleeping quarters and entertainment systems, Australian road train cabs focus on functional survival without abandoning essential comfort. American truckers have it easy, laughs Dave Kendall, a 30-year veteran of the Outback routes. They drive for a day and reach another major city. We drive for 3 days and might only see 2 small towns. Our trucks function as lifeboats in a sea of nothing. The control arrangements reflect their extraordinary purpose. Australian road trains feature specialized control clusters managing multiple trailer brake systems, extended lighting circuits illuminating 175 feet of combination, and comprehensive monitoring systems tracking engines working at extraordinary levels. Their climate systems maintain comfortable temperatures even as outside thermometers push past 120 degrees Fahrenheit, explaining those dual high-output alternators essential to their operation. Communication equipment reveals another fundamental difference. Australian drivers rely on military-grade radio setups with specialized long-range antennas and satellite communication backups. Our rigs serve as rolling survival capsules, explains Sarah McPherson, who has logged over 2 million kilometers. Everything, from water purification to emergency medical kits, comes standard because waiting for help simply lacks viability when we travel. The navigational systems incorporate extensive Outback mapping, showing unmarked tracks, water crossings, and emergency landing strips. Most impressively, maneuvering these mechanical centipedes demands extraordinary skill sets. It takes about 5 years to truly master driving a quad-road train, says instructor Michael Donovan. You manage a constantly shifting snake of mass and momentum where one wrong move lets physics take control in very unpleasant ways. Driving a road train is certainly no small feat. But how do these giants compare to trucks from around the world? Well, let's find out. For proper perspective, consider these magnificent machines alongside other global giants. The standard American 18-wheeler stretches approximately 70 feet, weighs around 80,000 pounds fully loaded, and generates between 400 and 600 horsepower. Contrast this with an Australian Type 2 road train extending 175 feet, powered by 780 horsepower and moving 340,000 pounds. European trucks, while technologically sophisticated, operate under restrictive regulations, maxing out at around 60 feet in length and 40 tons in weight. Even specialized giants fall short by comparison. The legendary Scandinavian logging jumbos reach impressive 90-foot lengths, but operate on dedicated routes. The massive Caterpillar 797F mining truck stands 25 feet tall and moves 400 tons of material, but it maintains low speeds exclusively within mining operations. The NASA Crawler Transporter moves at a maximum of 1 mile per hour, consuming 150 gallons of diesel fuel per mile. At the same time, Australian road trains maintain highway speeds of over 60 miles per hour, handling similar total lengths and weights. From a global perspective, these Australian titans truly stand alone as the undisputed kings of commercial road transport, combining extraordinary capacity with practical versatility across unforgiving terrain. Building these trucks wasn't easy. Let's examine the engineering challenges that had to be overcome to make these giants a reality. The colossal nature of Australian road trains presents engineering puzzles that would make conventional truck designers throw their blueprints out the window. Consider the challenge of directional stability. When you pull 4 massive trailers stretching nearly 200 feet, even the slightest steering input becomes dramatically magnified down to the length of the combination. The braking systems of these mechanical giants deserve particular attention. North American trucks typically utilize straightforward air brake systems scaled for their relatively modest combinations. Australian road trains, however, employ sophisticated electronic braking systems that manage deceleration across multiple trailers, preventing the deadly accordion effect that would occur if all units failed to brake in perfect synchronization. Now, perhaps the most impressive is the powertrain engineering. While European trucks rarely exceed 600 horsepower, Australian road trains demand engines producing upwards of 800 horsepower, coupled with torque figures that would make conventional truck engineers gasp. Now, these monstrous power plants must maintain optimal operating temperatures while crossing hundreds of miles of scorching outback terrain, where ambient temperatures regularly exceed 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, these trucks aren't just impressive, they're essential. Without them, entire industries would grind to a halt. Now, let's explore how road trains keep Australia's economy alive. The economic impact of these rolling juggernauts can't be overstated. Australian road trains transport more than 80 million tons of critical resources annually, representing roughly 27 billion Australian dollars in economic value. This transportation network forms the literal backbone of Australia's interior economy. Now, for perspective, the Mount Isa mines alone rely on road trains to transport over 3 million tons of copper, zinc, and lead concentrates yearly. Without these massive vehicles, the extraction costs would skyrocket, potentially rendering these operations economically unfeasible. Remote cattle stations spanning territories larger than some European countries depend entirely on road trains for their economic survival. The Brunet Downs station manages over 100,000 cattle across 12,000 square kilometers of territory, approximately the size of Jamaica. Their entire annual production moves via specialized livestock road trains, with a single vehicle often transporting more than 200 cattle in one journey. Now, did you know that road trains transport over 80 million tons of resources annually? That is a staggering amount. If you're amazed by these stats, hit that like button and share this video with a friend. And stick around, because the future of these mechanical giants is even more exciting. Let's take a peek at what's coming next. Now, the evolution of road train technology continues at a breakneck pace, with Australian innovation often leapfrogging international developments. While North American autonomous truck testing focuses primarily on single-trailer operations in controlled highway environments, Australian engineers at companies like Mineral Resources Limited already field test autonomous road trains with multiple trailers navigating remote outback conditions. The FlexMax articulation system represents another quantum leap forward. This revolutionary connection technology allows road trains to extend beyond the current 4-trailer limitation. Prototype combinations successfully tested 6 fully loaded trailers. This would create combinations approaching 220 feet in length, nearly 4 times longer than typical European truck combinations. Power systems, too, undergo transformation. While European manufacturers focus on battery electric solutions for relatively short-haul operations, Australian road train developers recognize different requirements. Companies like Fortescue Future Industries are pioneering hydrogen fuel cell powertrains specifically engineered for road train applications, promising zero-emission operation with the extended range demands that Australian conditions require. The future road train will likely run on electricity, either through hydrogen fuel cells or some combination of battery and range extender technology, predicts Dr. Thomas Wilkins, Director of Heavy Vehicle Research at the University of Melbourne. But make no mistake, these will be uniquely Australian solutions that recognize our extraordinary operational demands. These trucks can handle everything from fuel to livestock. Let's explore their specialized configurations and see how they're tailored for specific tasks. The versatility of road train designs showcases Australian engineering ingenuity at its finest. Consider the specialized bulk fuel road trains that transport diesel, petroleum, and aviation fuel to remote communities. These rolling fuel depots often carry more than 150,000 liters of vital fuel products, incorporating sophisticated liquid handling systems that maintain load stability across challenging terrain, while also meeting stringent safety requirements that exceed international standards. Mining equipment transporters represent another specialized variant. These behemoths transport machinery pieces weighing up to 200 tons, equipment so massive that North American regulations would never permit its movement on public roads. The specialized trailers incorporate computer-controlled hydraulic suspension systems that actively compensate for road irregularities while distributing the immense load across dozens of axles. Livestock transporters showcase a completely different engineering approach. Now, these specialized units feature multiple internal decks with adjustable loading ramps, sophisticated ventilation systems, and water delivery mechanisms to maintain animal welfare during journeys that sometimes exceed 2,000 kilometers. A single, triple-deck livestock road train can transport more cattle than 6 conventional European livestock trucks combined. Perhaps most specialized are the Outback supply road trains that function as rolling department stores. These combinations transport everything from groceries to construction materials, often featuring refrigerated sections, dry goods compartments, and even specialized containers for hazardous materials, all in a single combination that might serve as a monthly supply run for multiple remote communities. The Australian road train stands as a monument to human innovation when confronted with some extraordinary challenges. Where conventional transportation solutions faltered against the vast distances and harsh conditions of the Outback, Australian engineers responded by creating mechanical marvels that continue to evolve and to impress. These rolling titans represent more than just impressive vehicles. They embody the Australian spirit of practical innovation. While North American and European truck design often prioritizes standardization and incremental improvement, Australian road trains demonstrate that sometimes the most effective solution requires fundamentally rethinking conventional wisdom. As climate challenges and economic pressures continue to evolve, the Australian road train will undoubtedly adapt alongside them, continuing its essential role in sustaining communities and industries across the vast Australian interior. The next generation of these magnificent machines promises even greater efficiency, safety, and carrying capacity. Now, this is proof that when the challenge seems impossible, Australian ingenuity finds a way forward by thinking bigger, bolder, and without conventional constraints. In a world increasingly focused on transportation efficiency, the Australian road train remains the undisputed king of the road. It's a perfect marriage of engineering brilliance and practical necessity that transforms the impossible into the everyday. From their massive 780 horsepower engines to their 1,000-gallon fuel tanks, Australian road trains are built to survive the impossible. They're not just trucks, they're the lifeline of the Outback. They prove that sometimes bigger is the only way forward. If you enjoyed this video exploring why these giants are made the way they are, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating stories about the trucks that keep our world moving. Stay tuned. There's more to come.